From horror films to scary stories and everything in between, there's no shortage of terrifying tales that have been inspired by real life. And with Halloween right around the corner, we're taking a look back at one killer who inspired one of the most famous horror movies ever made. This is the story of Ed Gein, the man who inspired Psycho. As a child, Ed Gein was described as being well-behaved and quite intelligent. However, things changed when he moved to Plainfield, Wisconsin, and began attending grade school. It was during this time that he began having violent mood swings and became extremely aggressive towards other children. When he was 14, his father died and he began to resent his mother, Augusta, so much so that he would beat her on occasion. After graduating from high school, he began working in the family business and married a local woman named Mary Hogan. Together they had 2 children, and it seemed as though Ed was leading a normal life. But behind closed doors, he was obsessed with his mother, even to the point of necrophilia. He also began having panic attacks and experiencing psychotic episodes. After his wife caught him sleeping in his mother's underwear, she left him and eventually took their children and moved away. Shortly after his wife left him, Gein's mother passed away from cancer. Stricken with grief, Ed buried himself in his work and avoided social interaction. That was until he met Mary's sister, Bernice Warden, who helped nurse his mother back to health and became close friends with Ed. When Bernice's son, Gregory, came to visit, Ed showed him a secret passageway that connected his house to his mother's. They crawled through the tunnel and Ed revealed to Gregory that he had stolen various items from his mother's grave. This included her corset, which Ed admitted to using in sexual acts. He also told Gregory about his plans to dig up other women's corpses. Fearing what Ed might do, Gregory told his mother about the disturbing confession. When Bernice confronted Ed, he admitted to stealing items from the cemetery, but denied having any plans to dig up more bodies. Still, Bernice never allowed her son to go near Ed again. In the following years, Ed became increasingly reclusive and spent most of his time alone in his workshop, cutting up old tires and experimenting with taxidermy. In 1954, one of Ed's neighbors noticed the smell coming from his house and contacted the police. When officers entered the home, they found the decomposed bodies of several women in different stages of decay. After arresting Ed, they discovered more remains in the basement, along with women's clothing, jewelry, and other personal effects. Through further investigation, it was determined that Ed had murdered at least 15 people. Their names were Mary Hogan, Ed's wife, Bernice Warden, his friend, and 13 other local women who had either gone missing or whose bodies had been found in shallow graves near Ed's home. Gein was charged with the murder of Bernice and the 13 other women. He was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. At trial, it was determined that Ed suffered from schizophrenia and other mental health issues. During his incarceration, he was lobotomized, but this only made his condition worse. He began having more psychotic episodes and reportedly urinated and defecated on the floor. He also developed a taste for human flesh and would often ask for the brains of executed prisoners, which were sometimes sent to him by Ed. While Ed Gein's crimes were truly horrific, there's no denying that they also inspired some of the most iconic imagery in horror movie history. In fact, when Alfred Hitchcock was looking for inspiration for the Bates Motel and its surrounding grounds in Psycho, he visited Ed Gein's farmhouse, which was located outside of Plainfield, Wisconsin, and although Gein did not confess to killing his own mother, Norman Bates did.